Hey Joe, how are you doing?
I am doing splendid.
That is awesome. I feel so great. I want to fly.
I wish I could fly, but I sure can hop along.
All right, what's up, everybody? We are live and welcome again to another live session. Live Ask Me Anything. You saw that little dialogue that we just did that I just played right there. In a minute, I'm going to be showing you how to create that on Adobe Character Animator. It's actually quite easy than you think. So I'm going to be showing you how to do that in a second. But welcome. If you want to let me know down in the chat where you're joining from, I would like to know where you're joining from and to do some shout outs to everybody who is here today. And if you're going to be watching this later on after this live stream, I'm going to timestamp everything. So just look at the timestamp and you can jump to different parts of the tutorial. So welcome. This is our live Ask Me Anything. And in case you're wondering what an Ask Me Anything is, we did this last month, whereby just a time for me to hang out with the YouTube community and give you guys a chance to ask me different questions. And during the session, you know, I would take like maybe a question that has been asked ahead of time, and I'll go through how that is done, and then I can also get questions from you guys about other things. So we did this last month, and it was pretty, the response on that was pretty good. Most of the community liked it, and there was a request for me to continue to do this. So I'm gonna try to continue to do this once every month at the end of the month. So it's gonna be the last Saturday of the month. We're gonna just do this. I just come to hang out, and it's a very like unstructured way of teaching. So don't expect it to be super structured, but it really sort of just a time for me to hang out with you guys, get to hear any questions you have that might have not been answered. I do go through the comments in my videos, but not all of them. So this is a chance for you to ask me some of the questions that you might have for me live, and you know, I get to answer those. And we might be doing giveaways every now and then in this session. In fact, there might be a giveaway today for a Create Studio license. So if you're interested in getting a Create Studio license, do hang out to some point in the stream. I'm going to tell you how to win that. But otherwise, we're going to get to shout out in a second. So if you want to just let me know where you're coming from, and you know, shout out to your country. If you want to shout out your country, shout out your city, shout out anybody, just let me know down in the chats, in the comments, and I'm gonna put your shout out right live in the stream for everybody to see. So I see the chats are coming in, so keep them coming in. But in a second, we're gonna go ahead and start displaying those shout outs. So do make sure you put those in. So while you're putting where you're from in the comments for today's giveaway, so we're gonna gamify it a little bit. Let's have a little fun with this. So I have a Create Studio license. I've been seeing the comments in my Create Studio video. People have been asking that, can I give away another Create Studio license? So we're gonna do that in today's live session. And if you join each of the live sessions, there might be a different giveaway for each of the sessions. So it's quite simple, the way to win the Create Studio license. There's gonna be an Easter egg at some point in this video, right? It's gonna look something like this. Remember this guy from our previous video that we did? So it might look something just like that. So whenever you see that, just make sure he's gonna have a special magic word. So the first person to put that magic word in the chat wins it. It's that simple. So whenever that plays, it's gonna play, and it's gonna play with some word. He's gonna have a word in it. So I'm just gonna go through the chat and search for the very first person that puts that word in the chat, and that person gets to win the Create Studio license. So it's that simple. So watch out for the soccer head guy from one of my Create Studio video. Is gonna show up at some point in this live stream. So just watch out for him, and watch out for the magic word that he's gonna put on the screen, and just put that in the chat. Type as fast as you can, and you get to win. So let's go ahead and go to our shout outs. So it's time to do some shout outs now. I know we're joining in from all over the world, so let's go ahead and see where it is that you're coming from. All right, so I'm gonna put up our shout out here. So we have somebody right here from Sweden, Young King from Sweden. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Let me move the mic right here. So I have Nat Net from London, England. Shout out to you. Shout out to you from London, England. For now, I think we're gonna go ahead and actually start one of the first questions that we're gonna be taking a look at today, which was the question of how do you create a cartoon on Character Animator with more than one character. So in all of the tutorials I've done, we've been doing this with just one character in the scene. So you just have this one character and you animate the character. But what if you wanted to actually do like a full-blown cartoon where you have several people having conversations? So that's gonna be the first thing that we're gonna be doing today. And then after that tutorial, I'm gonna go back to the comments and we're gonna just look at the chat, and I'm gonna be happy to answer all of your questions. All right. So with that done, I hope you've grabbed your coffee. I've had my coffee. I'm fully awake and energetic and ready for this. So hope everybody who, if you are in this part of the world where it's still in the morning, hope you've gotten your coffee. And we're gonna get started with this right away. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And you should be seeing my screen now. And there we go. So we have Character Animator opened right here. So if you have a look at you know, some of the previous tutorials that I've done on Character Animator, I've shown you how you can open the your import characters to the scene. So today we're going to be doing it a little bit different because we have to add 2 characters. So typically, I mean, what I do is I would just go to the welcome window right here. So I'll just go to the welcome window and just, it's the little screen right here at the top. And just make sure, you know, whatever character it is you want, if you click on it, it gets loaded into Character Animator. For example, with the sample that you saw in the intro, we were doing an animation with the little frog guy here and the superhero little girl. So I'm going to just click on that, and that loads it up automatically. So this is our superhero girl character. And if you've seen my Character Animator tutorial, she will react to my face just because, again, we have my face right here at the top. So she will react to that. So, and then also, of course, there are triggers and anchor points that you can click on right here, like the hands, and click on it. And this particular character has something called Limb IQ, which is that she actually reacts to footwork. So like if I drag her here and drop her here on the top, she sort of reacts and moves around with a little bit of physics there. So that's because of the Limb IQ. This is something new they added after I created a couple of my Character Animator videos. I believe they added this probably like last year or 2 years ago. So that's Limb IQ. So that's pretty cool, actually. It gives you a very, very easy way for you to go ahead and create very realistic looking physics when you're doing your animations. So this will be our first character. For the next character, so whenever you click on the characters in the welcome screen, they open up right here. So as you can see right here to my top left, I have several things that I already opened, but this little character is called Sam, and the little froggy guy is called Hopscotch, if I pronounce that properly. But yeah, that's what they load up right here. So because I already have this opened, I'm not gonna go ahead and actually like click on Hopscotch anymore. I will just click and drag. So if I put that right here, drag it right on the timeline and drop it. So you now have, if I go to the bottom left, right here, we have both Sammy, and then we also have Hopscotch right here at the bottom on our timeline. So they're both right here on the timeline. And I am able to start animating the both of them. So the first thing I am going to do is sort of place them properly within the scene. And to do that, I like to always get a background. So again, when I'm putting animations together, unless I really have to, I don't like to create backgrounds from scratch. I just go ahead and like grab something that's already there, like especially if I'm putting something up really quick. This was a quick one, like the demo I showed in the tutorial. I did that really quickly prior to this tutorial just to have something to show. So that's like a very, very quick and dirty example. It's of course not perfect, but if we go to FreePick, you saw we had the little background there. So again, I've talked about freepick.com a lot in this channel. It's a very good resource to get free illustrations that you can use for your animations, and most of them are free. If you have the premium version of this, then you can also get some premium ones, and then you don't have to credit the author. But so we have this camp campfire background right here. So I already downloaded this. I'm going to put the link to all of this down in the description so that you can download this if you want to go try this out at home later after this. So I already have this, and my campfire is right here. I believe it's this one right here. So we're just going to drag it and drop it. So the first thing you're going to notice is that it doesn't fit the screen. So to resize that is quite simple. So at the bottom right here, if I just click on it, this is the campfire file. If I click on that and then head over to the bottom, well, if the screen can show it, well, it's not going to really show it. So I'll put it full screen. So, and right here to the bottom right, you have something that talks about scale, a property that talks about scale. So you can use this to scale your background. So I've just dragged this to scale this properly to fit within the screen. So I'm going to click then right here on the bottom right on, this is Sam, the superhero girl. So once she's activated, you just want to make sure she's activated. Also, again, to the right here, there's the X and Y position, and you can move this around to sort of place her properly within the scene. And this looks good to me. I'm also going to go back here and click on Hopscotch, the little froggy guy. And again, I mean, he already seems pretty good, but I'll just probably move him a little bit. So right there, we already have, by the way, the Hopscotch guy also has the limb IQ. So it's really, really cool. I love this feature. Look how the physics of that is like so natural. And I mean, without having to do any keyframe animation, nothing, just by moving my mouse around, he has a very realistic looking a movement there and physics because of the limb IQ, and you can move that. And of course, he also responds to my head movements and my facial expressions. So now to the big question, right? So how do you animate these two things differently? So that's the main thing. So you've seen how I've added 2 characters to the scene. So it was quite simple. Again, to recap, I just opened up the scene and I just dragged and dropped the characters. If I go back right here to the screen, so any character that you've opened, again, like I mentioned, will be available right here at the top. So all I just did was drag that and dropped it on the timeline. And you can have infinite number of characters. If you have a scene that had 10 characters, you just do the same thing. You drag them and just drop them right here on your scene. And that's how you have multiple characters on your timeline. So now when it comes to animating them, because again, how do you control which one responds to my face? So I'm going to show you how you can animate these 2 characters. So there are 2 ways. Like in the opening scene that we did, there was that little dialogue right there whereby they were both talking. You could record that, like record the first person and then go back and record the second person. But we're not going to be doing that today. We're going to be using a pre-recorded track that I already used for the recording. And in the pre-recorded track, I used not a website, but a tool called Descript. Again, this tutorial is not about Descript, but if you guys want to know about Descript, let me know down in the comments of this video. Just let me know down in the comments, live chat. I'm gonna show you how Descript works. So I pretty much just opened up. If I could open up, just give me a second here. I'm actually gonna pull up Descript so you guys see how my my project file look like in Descript. And then probably after this, at the end, we'll probably go ahead and I'm gonna just show you a little bit how this works. Just give me a second. All right, so this is Descript right here, and I'm gonna just go ahead right here and turn off the music for a second. So as you can see, I just typed out my dialogue. So I typed out the dialogue, and you can choose, it allows you to choose what kind of voice you want. So I just had a lady voice for the top dialogue, and then I switched it to a male's voice for the second. And if I go ahead and play this, it uses artificial intelligence to do the voiceover.
Joe, how are you doing?
I am doing splendid.
That is awesome. I feel so great. I want to fly.
I wish I could fly, but I sure can hop along.
So there are many of these text-to-speech software, but this is probably by far the best natural sounding that I've experienced. And I actually use this for projects, and people sometimes can't tell the difference. So what I then did was, after I finished this, I exported this. And like I said, if you guys want to know more about this, just let me know in the chat, and I'll cover this a little bit at the end of this video. And I actually think I'm going to do a full-blown tutorial on Descript later on the channel, because I think this is a really good tool for use with your animations and things like that. Sorry about that. Give me a second. So once I had that exported, I just took it to Premiere Pro and then I changed the pitch so that it sounded a little bit more like little kids, just to match a bit with the scene that we're going for. It's not very natural, but at least it's better than just having it by default. So let's head back to the tutorial here. So I have Character Animator back opened here on my screen. So what I did is I've exported the individual audio. So I exported just the little girl talking, and then I also exported just the froggy guy talking. So I'm gonna just do this simply. I'm gonna drag that audio. So that audio is right here at the top. So I called him Joe. So I just dragged the Joe audio and I'm dropping the Joe audio right here on the timeline. I'm also gonna go right back to the top, and I've called the little girl Supergirl. So I'm going to drag her audio and also drop it right here on the timeline. So if I switch right here to the bottom, as you can see, I have now the little Joe's audio and the little girl's audio. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to place the little girl's audio right below her file and place Joe's audio right below his character, so that we can use this to compute the lip sync. So it's very, very simple. You just have to compute the lip sync for the individual characters one at a time. So if I wanted to do the one for the little girl, I'm just going to highlight the little girl right here and also highlight her audio. And then if I go right here to the bottom, you can see both her audio and her puppet is selected. So I'm going to go back to the top here and then go to timeline. And then I'm going to say compute lip sync to scene audio. So now that's going to do some calculations depending on the speed of your computer. That might take a little bit longer, but again, my computer is a little bit fast, so that happened pretty quickly. And then I'm going to do the same. So if I go back here to the bottom, I'm going to click on the little froggy guy and click on his puppet and his audio. And then I'm going to go back right here to the top and say compute lip sync from scene audio. And it's going to do its little thing. And again, that happened pretty quickly. And if I zoom in right here to the timeline, you can see it's automatically, wherever you have the waveform for the little girl, it's automatically computed her lip syncing. And then wherever you have for the froggy guy, it's also computed his lip sync. So I'm going to keep quiet and play this back so you just see what that looks like. So let's play this back for you to see.
Hey Joe, how are you doing?
I am doing splendid.
That is awesome. I feel so great. I want to fly.
I wish I could fly, but I sure can hop along.
So that was pretty quick. That was pretty cool. Again, the voices are not that natural, but you get the point. If you have actual voice talents that do your voice, it will sound a little bit more natural. But again, I use this AI just for the purpose of this demonstration. So as you can see, it's computed both their conversation. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and add some more movement. The scene is quite dead right now. They're sort of talking really bored, like they've not had their morning coffee. So we're going to add a little bit of animation to the little girl, and we're going to add a little bit of animation to the little froggy guy. I believe in that intro scene, I had her flying into the scene. So I'm just going to try to recreate this really quick here. It's going to be quick and dirty, so nothing perfect, just for you to get the sense of how this is done. So I have moved the timeline here just to give me a little bit of bandwidth from when I hit my record and when they start speaking, so that I can react a little bit to add the animation. So I'm going to drag the little puppet girl and drag her down just to extend her on the timeline. I'll do the same for the froggy guy, and I'll do the same for our background. All right. So there you go. So the whole idea is that I want the scene to already be in place for a little minute before they start talking, so to give her enough time to fly into the scene, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is click again. The whole point here is that if you're trying to animate any character, even if you have like 100 characters, just make sure that you've selected them. And then every action you take on Character Animator is going to affect just that one character per time. So I'm just going to simply drag her and leave her right here on the top. And then I'm going to hit record. And once the record button is hit, I'm going to drag her back down. And Character Animator is going to take note of that action. So let's go ahead and do that. Oops. Real quick. All right. There we go. And then at the same time as I'm doing that, as you can see, my camera is on right here at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and also just record through some face movement, head movement, and blinking of my eyes and things like that, so that we can do that for her throughout the scene. So let's go ahead and do this right now.
Hey Joe, how are you doing?
I am doing splendid.
That is awesome. I feel so great. I want to fly.
I wish I could fly, but I sure can hop along.
All right. So we've got that for the first character. So I'm going to go ahead and also do the same for the second character. So again, if I just go right here to the bottom, just make sure that the hopscotch guy is selected. So the little froggy guy, just make sure he's the one selected and activated. And then once you have that, again, I'm just going to go back and hit the record button and just record some few movements for him. So with the froggy guy, there is a trigger, and in case this is the first time you're seeing one of my tutorials, a trigger are predefined animations that have been programmed into the puppet. And the way it works is that there will be a keyboard key that you press, and once you press that keyboard key, your puppet does something. So for example, the froggy guy, if I press the X key, he jumps out of the screen, and if I press it again, he comes back. So I'm gonna use that where he says he's gonna hop along. I'm just gonna press the X key while I'm recording, and that's gonna have him sort of jump off the screen and jump out of the page. So let's go ahead and do that. We hit the record button again. Just make sure that he's selected so that whatever action you take affects just him. And then I'm gonna move my head and just do a little bit of movement with the mouse, and then you get the point of how that works.
Hey Joe, how are you doing?
I am doing splendid.
That is awesome. I feel so great. I want to fly.
I wish I could fly, but I sure can hop along.
All right, so you have it there. When I press the X key and I moved my head a little bit, he moved. So let's play this from the top and see what this scene now looks like.
Hey Joe, how are you doing?
I am doing splendid.
That is awesome. I feel so great. I want to fly.
I wish I could fly, but I sure can hop along.
All right, so that is not perfect. Of course, there are many things I can fix here, like when she jumped in the legs and all of that, but you get the point. Of course, I'm doing this pretty quickly, but if you take your time and do it, move your mouse a little bit, and you can even create your own triggers for some of the actions you have them taking. That makes it quite easy to do, but you can go ahead and animate an entire scene of them talking, and probably in another session, I'm going to also take you through how you can do simple things like camera movement, so you can maybe zoom in on her, zoom in on him, then do a wider shot and things like that to keep it a very engaging scene. But once you add all of that, you quickly, this has been like what, maybe 15 minutes. We already have almost a scene ready to go. Imagine if this dialogue was like long, you can do that and you have that fully done. The last thing again with animations and with videos, the thing that adds that cherry on the cake is sound design. It just adds life. It just breathes some kind of breath of life into your animation scene when you add some sound design. So even though this is just a demo, I'll still add some sound design just to bring this to life so you get a sense of really what you can do with this. So I've gone ahead to I've gone to Envato Elements, and again, I talk about Envato Elements a lot on this channel. Free Pick is free. The first site that I showed, it's a free site. I'll put a link to that in the description. Envato Elements has a subscription, but it's totally worth it. To be honest, it's a lot of value for money because they have, like again, I've mentioned this in a lot of videos. They have sound effects, background music, they have video templates, PowerPoint templates, After Effects templates, cartoon illustrations. It's the list goes on and on. So it's worth it if this is something you do very often. So I went on there and I've just found like some sound design. So like this is a sound of I believe the superhero jumping. I have another one of a jump, a fly in. I also have a background sound for an ambient sound. So I've downloaded all of this and I'll put a link to all these sounds in the description in case you have a subscription to Envato Elements and you want to follow along. So I have them downloaded here. And again, when you want to import your sounds, in case this is the first time again you're watching one of these tutorials, just go to File, click on Import, and then click on your sound file wherever it is on your computer. Again, that was Files right here at the top. And then if I could zoom in right here, just click on the little import, and that would open up your computer, and you have the ability to import whatever it is you're trying to import into the program. And then once you import them, they're going to be right here at the top. So you just need to just drag. So for example, I have the sound of the woods. So I'm just going to drag that and drop that right here at the bottom. So we have the wood sound playing in the background. So that's what that sounds like.
Hey Joe, how are you doing?
So just adds a little bit of life. Right there, it's already sounding a lot better just because of that wood sound that you have. Just adds life to it. And then I went ahead also and added the fly in sound right here. I'm just gonna drag it and drop it on the timeline. Now, when I actually do actual animations and stuff that I use for actual projects, I don't do sound design on Character Animator. It's not designed for that. It's one of these, because Adobe has a lot of softwares, it's one of these things where the character animator is really just made for you to do your animations, and then you take that out and use one of the other softwares to do like sound design and things like that. So I'll typically do sound design and my final editing on a software like Adobe Premiere Pro. A software like Create Studio, it's one of the software that gives you like a one-stop shop for everything. You can do your sound design, animation, and video editing. And I have videos on Create Studio. If you check out my channel, you see that. But Character Animator is not one of those. So just bear that in mind. But again, you can do a little bit of sound design. It allows you to reduce the volume. So if I go right here to the bottom, there's a little dB here. So if I made it something like -10, I could reduce the volume. So you could do a little bit of sound design, but when you start wanting to add effects and things like that, then you start getting a little bit limited, and you probably want to go to Premiere Pro or another software. So let me just look for that point where she flies in. And again, I'm not going to go ahead and probably do all of this like I created it, but you get the idea of it, so that I can go ahead and take some questions. But right here, I will just drag this so that it plays the
Hey Joe, how are you?
sound. That was probably a little bit too loud, so I just make that like right -20. And then when I play that again,
Hey Joe, how are you doing?
I am doing splendid.
so you have that sound of her coming in. And in the original video that I did in the intro, you also had a sound for her jumping out of the scene to have the entire effect come into play. So I did that. Again, it's the jump sound, and I just did that. I put that in. I also had a sound for a boomerang sound for the frog guy, so that when he jumped off of the scene, there was a boomerang sound that made him jump out of the scene. So again, it's the same step. You just click on it and drag it and just put it on whatever point of the timeline that you want that to sound. And that is going to sound there, and you're able to do the sound design. So the good thing with that is once you add the sound design and all of that into it, it just brings it to life. And once you play your final thing and put it together, it looks really great. So I'm going to go ahead and play again that video that I played in the intro of this tutorial so that you see what the final thing sounded like.
Hey Joe, how are you doing?
I am doing splendid.
That is awesome. I feel so great. Hey Joe, how are you doing?
I am doing splendid.
That is awesome. I feel so great. I want to fly. Hey Joe, how are you doing?
I am doing splendid.
That is awesome. I feel so great. I want to fly.
I wish I could fly, but I sure can hop along.
So as you can see, that was very, if you ask me, that was quite easy to do, and that was quite fast to do. So that is how you add multiple characters in Character Animator if you're trying to build out a full-blown animation on Adobe Character Animator. So that is how you do it. So somebody asked that question, and I hope that answers that question, and I hope that was helpful to you. So I'm going to jump right now to the comments to see questions you have. So if you have questions from this session, it doesn't even matter if it's questions that even doesn't have anything to do with Character Animator. Feel free to ask them. I will go ahead and start looking at some of the questions that you guys have for me in the comments, and we'll go ahead and answer some of those. Okay, so let's go right in here, and I'm gonna go into some of the questions here. All right. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get into some of these questions. All right. So I have a question here. Somebody is asking, they said that any good resource to learn Photoshop. I would love to share free alternative to paid softwares that I use. Okay, that's great. Again, sometimes for some of the tools that I use, there are free alternatives. Sometimes they're not just, there are just no free alternatives that do it as easy. One thing I try to look for when I'm doing these tutorials is I try to make it simple. If you look through my channel, a lot of the tutorials I do, I make it quite simple that anybody can follow along. That is the whole motto of my channel, is that when I'm teaching a new skill, I try to find ways to make that skill accessible to everybody. But I will, that'll probably make for a good tutorial series, which is to find a bunch of softwares that do similar things that I've been showing on the channel for free. And that is part of the reason why I also give a lot of giveaways to some of these softwares, just to keep things easier for people to get access to. So let me jump again to another question. So this question is asking, what software is that I use for sound design? I am guessing that, Poland, you're asking me what software was the one that I used to do the voiceover. If that's what you mean, it's called Descript. And Descript is spelled, I'm going to put that in the chat. It's spelled as D-E and then the word script. I'm going to put a link to that in the comments so you can check that out. It's Descript. Pretty cool. It's not free, but they give you 3 hours worth of free transcript. I have not exhausted that, and I've been using this for a couple of months now. So there you go. So it's pretty almost free if you're not using it for like big major projects. Somebody here said, Taiwo from Nigeria is saying that he would like to learn Descript. I would make some tutorials on that. I'll do probably a more structured tutorial and put on the channel. I think it's a great resource. So let's see. Okay, so we have a question here asking if I have any tips to upload the settings when you're uploading videos on Premiere Pro. So typically, if you watch different tutorials and videos, people have different things they want to do. I mean, different ways they want to set this. If I can pull my Premiere Pro here, I actually, most of the time, just go ahead and use the presets that Premiere Pro already gives to you. So Premiere Pro actually has a preset. And let me pull up my Premiere Pro here. So I'm going to jump back to my screen. And I'm going to show you right here. So this is Adobe Premiere Pro. So if I go under Files and Export, Media. So for anybody who is has probably never done this before, the question is just asking how, when you're trying to export files on Premiere Pro, what is the best preset if you're doing it for YouTube? Because again, YouTube does compress that. So if you have a later version of Premiere Pro, they actually have a preset right here. I don't know if this can actually zoom. Yeah, so this is zooming in right here. So they actually have a preset for YouTube. This is a preset that's already inbuilt to Premiere Pro. So the team at Premiere Pro have already looked at all the compression on YouTube, and they give you sort of a preset to use. This is what I use when I do my videos, and I've not had any issues with this. You would notice that the file size that is generated from this actually is slightly heavier. Bigger. So I guess this is sort of to accommodate for some of the compression that's going to come in when YouTube gets ahead and adds whatever it is they're going to add in terms of their compression with the video. So I've been using this for a while now, and I've not had any issues with that. So if you want to check that out, do definitely go and check that out. That has worked great for me. Oh, okay. So I'm going to go back to this question again because the person has a follow-up. So they're asking, what tool is this that I use for my sound design? And this is, it's a tool called, it's not really, it's a website called Envato Elements. So let me put that up here, and I'm going to put a link to this in the chats for this, so you can check this out. So I'll put all these links for those watching even later. It's going to be in the description of the video, and for those watching it live, I'm going to put it in the chat. So it's called Envato Elements, and I'm going to put a link, so you're going to see a link in the comments section for this. All right, so let's go to the next question. Let's see what else do we got here. So Ramdi, who's asking how to fix a walk on the timeline, can you please explain a little bit? I don't get the question, so explain a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and answer that. So let's jump. Let's see what else do we got going on here. Somebody says they love the content on my channel. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following along. Let's see. All right, so this question is asking, where did I learn so much skill from? So it's from all over the place, right? Again, prior to the days of when when YouTube became a thing, I used to learn stuff from the internet. So a little story of how I got into computers in general. So my mom got a laptop. She got a laptop. It was a very old laptop back in the days when we had floppy disks. So it was the only computer we had in the house. She was using it for school. And I started getting interest. So I got into computers in general and doing all this stuff, making video games. So I used to like to play video games back in the days, not very much nowadays. And I wanted to learn how to make those. So I would go on Google and simply just typed. The very day I tried this and I discovered you could get results, I was blown away. And that really changed my life. I went to Google and just typed how to make a game. And I was really amazed that it actually gave me results and useful results. I was about the age of 13 years, 14, thereabout. So I typed that in. And there were a bunch of tutorials. That's how I got to even learn about Game Maker back in the days. And there were tutorials on that. So I would go to the computer lab back in the days. That was the only place where they had internet access. And I would download a bunch of these tutorials and I put them on a floppy disk. And then once my mom is not using the computer at night, because she's using it during the day, I'll stay up at night, maybe from like 1 a.m. to probably 4 a.m., put these tutorials on the computer and just read through them and follow them. So I started teaching myself programming from this. I started teaching myself animations. I used to use a software called Animator for 3D animations. I started animations with that. I started doing tutorials on Adobe. Well, it was not Adobe back in the days. It used to be called Macromedia Flash. I started using that to teach myself 2D animations and things like that. So I would read, back in the days, it was not video tutorials, it was text tutorials. So I would read all these tutorials and I'll use those. And that was how I started teaching myself how to do a bunch of this stuff. So the good thing with my approach is that when anything interests me, I put in some time to learn it. So it's over the years. So I might have spent maybe 6 months learning how to do 2D animation. Then after that, I lose interest, I dump it, I go to something else. But again, when the need for 2D animation comes back, I already have that skills in the back of my mind, right? And I've learned that before. So that was how I got into learning a lot of the skills that I have today. It was all from Google. Today it's great. You have YouTube now. You have channels like mine, which I'm trying to do, like, make videos to teach you some of these things that I've learned over the years in simple ways to do. And there are also other bunch of great channels out there on YouTube today teaching you. So YouTube is a great resource for that. So let's see. Let's jump back to page 1 right here. Sorry, my comment software is juggling the chat. So if I miss your questions, please do not be offended. Okay, so let's see right here, page number 1. Okay. Okay, so this is an interesting question. Somebody's saying, why don't I create videos with softwares which are free to use? So I do have videos on the pipeline coming up, which actually do take advantage of some free softwares. It's just a lot of the skills that I have learned over time. A lot of them are with a bunch of the softwares that I use. So I started with skills that I know how to use and skills that are fun to do. And that's why I started with things like PowerPoint, because again, PowerPoint might not be free, but it's accessible to a lot of people. Most people have PowerPoint that you use for schools and things like that. So in a way, PowerPoint is, people have PowerPoint, right? I've created tutorials on Game Maker. Game Maker is pretty much free unless you're trying to start getting into like commercial sort of things. That's where Game Maker starts becoming that you need to pay for it. And then again, when I do some of these tutorials, I'm relying on a lot of feedback from the community. So if there are specific softwares that you would like to learn how to use, let me know. So I've put that, let me know down in the comments of this video. Let me know. I have my welcome to this channel video that I did that I was taking for request. So based on people's request, I've been making a ton of other videos for that. And a number of them are actually free softwares to use. So if you go through the channel, you would see that there are a bunch of softwares that I've used there that are free to use. So we have... Daniel saying you want to start making 3D animations. Go for it. I don't know what the question is there, but if you're looking for softwares to use, Blender is a good free software. There is a learning curve right there, but it is a good software to use. But then if you have any specific question, do let me know. So let's see. So somebody's asking if I use Audacity or Audition. So I have used both. I used to use Audacity before I got into the Adobe suite of products that they have. But since I got Creative Cloud, it just naturally made sense for me to switch to a software like what do you call it? What am I trying to say? A software like Auditions, right? Because Auditions is it's more robust. It's more robust. Adobe has put a lot of work into Auditions, and it does do a lot. So far, I use Auditions for most of my audio editing, but Audacity also does a great job, and I actually have some tutorials on Audacity lined up. I actually have some tutorials also on Auditions lined up, how to just get your audio sounding a little bit better. So those are things that I have on the pipeline, but I do use Auditions personally. Yes, yeah. Somebody saying Blender is tedious. Yeah, it is quite a robust software. Not necessarily the easiest of softwares to learn, but I have I think in April I have another software that actually does 3D animations. I'm gonna be doing a tutorial on that. I'm not gonna give it away. You're gonna have to wait to see what that is. That's gonna be coming up. So let's see any other questions that we have right here. So let me go through the chat here to look for other questions. All right, so I'm looking through the chat here to try to see your questions. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. Let's see. If I haven't answered your question, just put it back up, just to make sure that I see it. All right. So I'm checking right here, looking for your questions. All right. Okay. It would be great if you do channel review someday. Okay. That's a great idea. I'll keep that in mind. That's not a bad suggestion. All right. It's a shout out from Kenya. We're gonna do some shout outs before we end the stream. But welcome from Kenya. All right. Let's see. Okay. I think, okay, let's do some more shout outs because I do not see any questions. So if there are questions, please let me know. Let me know in the chat section. All right, so let's go to the shout outs. So again, Spice Dice from Kenya. You're welcome. Thank you for joining in. Let's see who else. Let's see who else we had here. So we had, and if you want to shout out to your country, you want me to shout you out, just put the name of your country down there, or the city you're watching from, and I'll shout you out. If you want to shout out to your friend or anybody, just put it here. I have I don't know, not sure how to pronounce your name, but from Eritrea, welcome. I do not want to massacre that, so I'm just not gonna say that. So we have I don't know if that's your full name, Gavitia from India. Shout out to you. We have Roberto from United Emirates. Shout out to you. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining the stream. All right, let's see who else we got here. We got Love from India. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. We have someone watching from Sri Lanka. Thank you. All right. Okay, let's see what else. So we have Somebody from Ghana. We have Ghana in the house representing. Thank you for joining in. Congratulations for joining in. And I see somebody going crazy on the chat here. Don't worry, I saw you. Don't worry, we're gonna get to it. Let's see. I don't know if I shout out to you from Canada. Gail from Canada, shout out to you. Shout out to you. And with that being said, we do have a winner for our giveaway there. And it's I do not know how to pronounce your name. If you could spell out how to pronounce your name, that would be great. But it's I would even try to pronounce that. But yeah, that name right there is our winner for our Create Studio license. Congratulations. You won the Create Studio license. So like I said, the soccer character was gonna come up and it did say woohoo. So you are the first to put it there. Actually, the only person to put it there. So congratulations. You are the winner of our Create Studio license. So I'm gonna be reach out to me on send me a DM right now on Instagram while we're on this chat, and I'm gonna tell you how to get your free Create Studio license. All right. So let's see. Any more questions? So we're coming to the top of the hour here. Just a few more minutes left, and I'm happy to answer more questions here. So let me just check through the chats to see. Somebody here is saying to please answer their questions. So let me go through. I'm not sure that I saw what the question was, but let's see. All right. What was your question? Which of the questions haven't I answered? I cannot see that. If you want to re-ask that, that would be great to know. Okay. Okay, I see a question here. Okay, this is actually a good question. I'll go ahead and answer this question right here. So just give me a second here. All right. So it says, why do I keep changing my content? So to answer this question, you'd probably have to go watch my welcome to my channel video. So even though the channel has had a lot of animation themed videos, this is not necessarily an animation specific channel. My goal here in this channel is to help people upskill themselves with most of the skills that I have, right? So you would see me do tutorials on Adobe, PowerPoint. And if you watch my welcome to my channel video, I'm actually just gonna go ahead and paste that video right now. I'll paste a link to it in the chat. Go ahead and watch it. It explains everything. It's going to answer your question as to why you have variety of content. But in a nutshell, my goal is that as you follow this channel over the course of the years, you should be getting to learn many skills that you can use. Like I said, I have over the years acquired a lot of skills, and it's helped me. I have made money from probably 70% of this very random skills that I have, because I get to a place where somebody wants this and I have the skills to do that. So I'm trying to help a bunch of people, also just everybody who's living the everyday life, doing your everyday job, to get different kinds of skills. So now a lot of this has circled around animation, just because there was a high demand for that by the audience and the community. But you would see content on different types of topic, just in general. I will still continue creating the animation content, but again, do expect to see different kinds of content. The Tesla video, again, that I shared, I recently got a Tesla. I had something that happened to me, a life event. My car got stolen. So I just felt like, this is my YouTube family. I thought that was a great, this is a great place to share my story about what happened with the car and how I got another car. And I also did that again in the likes of animations, just to also show you how you can do storytelling with PowerPoint. But beginning later this year, actually, I'm going to be starting a series which is called Simply Explained, where I'm going to be explaining some complex topics in simple, fun ways, sometimes using VFX. So watch out for that on the channel. Some of those videos are going to be coming soon. Little explainer videos explaining some complex topics which I have knowledge about. So I hope that answers your question, and I hope that is clear. So let's go. I'll take a few more, maybe 2 or 3 more questions, and then we're gonna close the stream for today. Again, for everybody who joined, thank you. It's really great hanging out with you guys. It's great and it's fun. It's always good. I love the energy right here on these streams. So let me go ahead and jump again to the chats to see what other questions we have right here. So we have, let's see. All right, so we have a question here asking if I use Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve for video editing. I use Premiere Pro. It's crazy. DaVinci Resolve, has a very complicated workflow process, but once you get a hold of it, it's actually quite easy to use. And it's also a very great software, but it's not necessarily the easiest of software to use. So I use Premiere Pro. It's the one that I sort of got into video editing with, and it's just become a force of habit, and I use that. But both softwares are great softwares. You can use either or. DaVinci, of course, is mostly free, so there's an advantage to that. Let's see. I'll take 2 more questions. Okay, I think I have yeah, somebody says road to 100K. Thank you for that. Yes, looking forward to getting to that 100K. And I'm gonna be doing an announcement soon for a giveaway, a big giveaway once we get to 100K. I'm not gonna announce it now today, but I'm gonna be announcing it soon. And this came from my previous live stream. Somebody requested something on the live stream, and I just randomly, I wasn't thinking, I just said it like, oh, why don't we give that away once we get to 100K? So I'm working that. I'm doing the works. That is in the works right now, and hopefully I get to announce that next month what that giveaway is gonna be. So I hope to get this big giveaway and give away a lot of stuff once we hit 100K. So watch out for a video coming out soon on the channel on that giveaway once we get to 100K. All right, so let's see. I think we'll close it out here. Thank you all for joining. Again, it's fun hanging out with you guys. I have a few more videos coming up, so you're going to see more videos in the channel probably in the next week or so, and more videos in the next month. So I have a couple of announcements coming up. I'm gonna try to hold myself here so that I can put it in a structured way, but on sometime next month I'm gonna be releasing a video with some announcements. I'll be announcing the giveaway that I have in the works for once we hit 100K, and again, if you want to help us reach that 100K, one way you can do it, give this video a thumbs up. If you enjoyed what we've done here today, make sure you give it a like so that YouTube recommends this for more people to watch. And of course, if you enjoy my videos, do share them with a few people so that they also subscribe to the channel. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe too, so we can reach that 100K as soon as possible. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna close it out today. Thank you very much. Thank you. If you still have more questions, just put them down in the comments. I will still go ahead and answer them even after this stream is over. But it has been my pleasure with you, hanging out with you guys today. I hope that little tutorial we did on how to create multiple characters in Character Animator was helpful. I might actually create a full-blown tutorial on that later on in the channel to be helpful for you guys for other things. Congratulations to yeah, somebody said congratulations to I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm sorry. If you could spell out your name somewhere in the chat, I would like to pronounce it. But congratulations to you for winning the Create Studio license. And again, I'll see you guys next month. Last Saturday of next month, we're gonna do again another live Ask Me Any session, Ask Me Any Question session, and we will have another giveaway on that session. So if you didn't win the Create Studio license today, make sure you join the next live session. I would have more giveaways to give away. So it's Gatavia. I hope I pronounced that properly, but congratulations to you. You have won a free license, lifetime license to Create Studio. I will be checking out my DM right now in a short minute, and I'll be telling you how you're gonna get your license and be sending that across to you. And it's gonna be giveaways of different types of things, licenses, gift cards, and so on and so forth. So hopefully I'm gonna catch you guys next month when we do another giveaway. It's been my pleasure hanging out with you guys. I will see you guys next time. It's been your guy. Emmanuel. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Make sure you keep learning every day, every time. Bye-bye.